We're moving into our next panel discussion, policy change. Markets shift and businesses need to adapt. Policy proofing your business, strategies for thriving regardless of economic uncertainties. That's the way we're going to discuss next. And so keep involved as we continue to focus on organizations who can build frameworks that endure regulatory shifts while seizing new opportunities. Learn how to stay agile, compliant, and competitive in this ever-changing landscape. So if the world is not complex enough, it keeps on moving. It's my pleasure to introduce the moderator and our esteemed panelists who are here to share their valuable insight and knowledge on the topic. Please put your hands together for our panelists. This time around is Dr. Mustafa Radi, who is the CEO of FinAngel Enterprises. We have Simone Dungu, the president of the Dungu Initiative. We also have Matt Larson, the founder of Severtum Group, and we have Captain Poonam. She is going to come on up and talk about her. She's an aviation leader, aviation consultant, and a female pilot. Woo! Here we go, Matt. Thank you very much. Yeah, bring it up. We got our panelists. All right, Matt, you the moderator today?
Could think about it.
I love it. I love it to have your energy up here. Everyone has a microphone?
Everyone has a microphone.
Hey there.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Take it away.
How are you doing, guys? I think we have to stand up, everybody. I mean, we have been sitting now for half an hour. Come on. Some music and some energy in the room. Come on, panel.
All right, let's move it.
Some music. I just, you stretch a little bit, and now we're getting into this mood on this panel. Oh, yeah, Rachel, you're dancing.
I'll move it. I'll dance.
This is fantastic.
We are good.
Here we go.
We got it dance as well.
Thank you very, very much for the music.
Thank you. All right. Woo! We got a little movement. Got to stay alive.
We need some energy in the room. I just felt that. How are you feeling? Shorty.
I just lost 2 calories.
2 calories. That's not bad. So, I'm not starting with myself. We always have to start with the ladies in the panel.
Thank you.
Who are you?
I'm feeling excited and positive.
You're feeling excited, but who are you?
So, Captain Poonam from India. I'm an aviation expert and also an artificial intelligence expert person.
That's fantastic. Did I hear an applause for Panum, our pilot? Yeah? Fantastic. I also have to ask you, sunrise. We were discussing that. That was a fantastic thing you told me about India.
Yeah.
Tell the audience. It was so fantastic what we told about. We met before just to prepare this panel.
Yeah, so we were having a discussion on, and he was telling me about his schedule, he likes to get up early in the morning. And I just mentioned to him that, as we grow up in India, it's a very, very saying in our country that if you can beat the sun, you can beat anybody. So my mom always used to tell me that you have to get up before sun rises, and he's been doing this. So I'm sure he's being very productive.
So, leaving it over to you, we were talking about fun, but please present yourself.
Simone Dungu, president of the Dungu Initiative. We help people improve the quality of their life through proper technology integration, business consulting, and digital strategy.
And you like to have fun?
From Italy.
From Sardinia?
From Sardinia.
Have you been to Sardinia?
Nobody has ever been in Sardinia. Okay,
you're
disqualified. Sardinia. Right there, good.
Yeah, and we met yesterday actually, and we said we're going to have some fun, and I hope you will join us. It's not a very funny theme, but we will try our best. Mustafa, who are you?
Yes, I'm a founder and a CEO of FinAngel Enterprises. We're a software house in the banking sector. Yeah. And yes, we have to manage a lot of crises, often not our crisis. So the banking sector has several crises, and I think we can then dive into these details, having a delighted look what can be happen out of things like that.
That's right. And I also found very interesting, because I wanted to find some keywords. Fun, sunrise, and then you were mentioning a new title, CVO.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, this is what we are talking about. So I have the reputation to live in the future. Yeah. So because I work with banks together, and I have a focus in the future, I have a vision, and I really drive this vision for a long term now. Yeah. And banks are not typically known as inventors, yeah, or they are not proven to be ahead the curve or whatever. Yeah? So the idea was born in a way that we have executive, we have whatever, yeah? And but there is no place for visions, yeah? In a standard configuration of companies. Yeah? And therefore we created the position, there is a visionary officer. Yeah? And the visionary officer has to delight the team, yeah? To focus that vision, yeah? So that you really can reach whatever is necessary to reach. And this is what we are working on and working at. Yeah? So that from my CEO position, so I'm Chief Executive Officer, move towards Chief Visionary Officer, yeah? To make the company run, yeah? To deal with the vision that we are aiming at.
Cool. Isn't that quite interesting? All right, short introduction of myself. I'm Mats Larsson. I come from Sweden, working out of Sweden, Norway, Spain, around the globe, doing different things. I call myself a mission maker. So actually when we're taking your vision into a mission, that's when the execution is going on. I like the CIO, Chief Inspirational Officer. That's another title. Shall we dig into the theme?
I think it is time, yes.
And listen, this is, as you see behind us, it's like a discussion. This is not a Q&A. This is not a conversation. This is a discussion. Let's bring some heat into this discussion. I mean, policy proving your business. And as I can read it, with 40% of businesses failing to adapt the sudden policy changes. Okay, hands up. Did you fail when there was a big policy change? Hands up. How many failed?
Anybody in the audience?
There are only one in the audience, and myself. I failed enormously. Did we have?
Perfect.
Sorry?
Nobody made a mistake, apparently.
Nobody makes a mistake. So, but now we're gonna discuss this matter on how should we act in order to avoid. Is that the right understanding of this panel?
Yes.
Yes. So let's talk about it. How do we avoid this? And now it's a Q&A again. I'm not moderating this, just asking questions. What do you think, Mustafa?
I mean, if there is changes in the market, and this happens permanently, yeah, the only thing that if you have built up a company that discards questions like yes or no, you may fail. Yeah? Because do I fit to the business? You can answer with yes. Do I not fit the business? You can just answer no, and that's it. Huh? If the business changes, you maybe move from yes to no. Yeah? And this is then a real problem for your company. Therefore, you have to be agile. Yeah? You have to move with the targets. Yeah? And the mission is just the direction where you drive to. Yeah? You don't know how you reach that point at the very end, what you have in your vision, what you have in your mind. Yeah? But definitely you have to move however the weather is like. If it's sunny, yeah, it's a nice job. And
yeah, and I mean, talking about sunny and weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will continue with Mustafa where he left. You know, he said very beautiful thing by navigating the weather. As pilot, coming from a pilot background, we're always good with navigating bad weather and especially avoiding the turbulence. So there are a couple of key factors as a business leader I would want to say when it comes to policy proofing. And one and the most important thing I personally feel is diversification. You know, you should not just spend, you should just diversify your business, into multiple models. For example, as an airline, you should not be just simply be focusing on commercial aviation. You should also be spending on cargo and stuff like that. Second, and the fourth important thing I feel is that spending in the research and development. A lot of leaders I know and I have worked with, they don't like to spend money on R&D. Spending on cutting edge technologies is the key to success, I feel. And the third and the most important thing is the scenario planning and risk management. We already are in the world where using predictive analytics. We're into the world where actually you're doing the revenue as per your pricing. The revenue models are there in place in the airline industry. And we know that all the prices, even for normal ticket prices, is being placed considering the economic crisis as well as the weather as well as the festivals in place. So I think these are three key factors which every leader can actually apply in their own company or as well as in their product.
Simone, comments on that?
I think the best option, especially to give something tangible to the audience that they can use in their daily activity in their business.
That's the meaning of our conversation or discussion.
Yeah, is probably to focus on the basics. I will not do the usual lecture on strategy because that would require around 6 hours. Nobody wants to hear me talk for 6 hours.
I'm not sure about that.
The short version is just focusing on the basics. So first, you pinpoint your objective. If you have no goal to achieve, there is no point in having a strategy. Second, I would say you gather data, as much data as you can gather. Third, you think about the strategy. Fourth, you focus on tactics, not before having written a plan. It is good to have a plan, and it is not the same thing as the strategy, because if you only have the strategy, that's only in your mind. But you need to communicate this strategy to your C-level colleagues, to partners, to employees if necessary, and so on and so forth. But if you have nothing to share, it's clearly impossible. Then you focus on execution, which is where 75% of companies fail. They actually go out of business because they fail in execution. And finally, the most important, pay attention. If the scenery changes, you start from scratch again.
Yeah, but because now, I'm sure that everybody of you in the room sort of have a plan. But now everything changed. Suddenly, we've been through it, all of us. For me, it was a very big change when COVID came because I was organizing bigger events, conventions, congresses. We could not work. It was prohibited in our countries and in most of the world. But what happened when these changes, and when the weather changes, when you're piloting an airplane, when financial things are sort of changing, what do we do? What can we do? What is important to do at that moment? What's urgent to do? Is there a difference in between urgent and important?
There is, of course, a difference between urgent and important, I would like to explain this with an example, when, let's say if you're flying an aircraft and you have an engine failure or engine is on fire, it's urgent for you to land. We call it land ASAP, land as soon as possible. But it's equally important for you to fly the aircraft. So depending upon what strategy are you using, as been rightly mentioned by my friend over here, is that collect data. But how are you anticipating that data and how are you investing that data in your system is equally important. You need to continuously learn those simulations, to actually be very, very predictive when for the next policy change. For example, there are these tools called natural language programming, which we actually use for even anticipating the economies of different countries, and where clearly the law is defined in that tool, because law is very clear. So it can be used. There are so many tools similar to that which can be used to actually be implemented in your organization.
And we've been talking about AI all the time. Well, not all the time, but there's been a lot of AI. Can we use AI to predict these changes?
A very simple topic.
Simple?
Absolutely. they have been talking the whole day
Yeah,
about
yeah,
AI
yeah,
in
yeah.
the past
But do we
days as
believe
well.
in this?
Yes, absolutely. I am an evangelist of AI. I am not scared about AI. I am
Ca-
scared about the wrong use of AI. Then
But
yes.
can AI predict the weather change when you're up in the air?
Yes, of course.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
It can predict. But what we need to focus right now is more about the cybersecurity and the ethics of using AI. You know, AI is already doing the job. But what we need to, as a business leader, what's more important is using with the right people and the right organization, as well as with transparency.
So policy proving. Mustafa.
If you integrate AI into your systems or whatever, yeah, you need to create an environment where we have trustable functionality. Yeah? Meaning, we know that AIs sometimes create fantasies or things like that. Yeah? So that won't help you in the business. So you have definitely to decide how are you going to use AI in your system and how you are going to configure it. Yeah? Because AI is just a tool that can be used in the systems, yeah, and will definitely help you then in the crisis. And the fact where we are aiming at with AI, with AI is that we are going to integrate it to. Everybody from us know the so-called brain drain, yeah, that happens in a company. Yeah? This is typically a change in your company you don't like. You have a knowledged persons, yeah, and for any reason, this knowledged person cannot continue. Yeah? So how are you going to keep this deep information, the detailed information in your company? How can you handle with this effect so that you can keep the quality and everything that is necessary that drives your business? Yeah? And I think, for instance, we try to focus on that using AI to have a tool, yeah, helping us keeping the knowledge in the company. Yeah? And there is a lot of possibilities that you can have a look at. So in every weakness that you have, and everybody knows the weakness of his own company, yeah, then you have to challenge these weaknesses, yeah, and then you can even handle it in case of changes or things like that. Yeah.
So about policies, I have something to say about that, because policies make you think about rules, and rules make you think about laws. I am a member of the scientific research team for the University of Cagliari that is exploring the topic of AI and its influence on laws. And the issue here, and I think all the countries in the world will be affected by this, is that politicians don't know pretty much anything about AI. They have no idea what's coming. And on the other side, we have lawmakers, so those who write the laws, who technically should be at the forefront of this battle, that know even less. And the problem is, once again, that it's an extremely slow system. So even if we are trying to explain to them what is the optimal path that will lead them to a better lawmaking subsystem, they say it's impossible. We cannot change the law. The law is pretty much written in stone, and you have to deal with that. So this is a challenge even for us, because every one of us is under the same law.
Yeah. We should not get stuck into AI, but I could not dare ask chat what they or he or him or I don't know what kind of answer did I get? Thriving during economic uncertainties requires a combination of adaptability, foresight, and strategic actions. Here are some strategies to consider. Do we trust this?
Up to now, it's theory.
Not 100%.
Now you
Nobody
do?
trusts
Not 100%.
AI.
There are no trust in the room. Everybody's so tired.
But they are right in not trusting AI because what the AI says depends on how it has been trained.
Yeah. So, I mean, you had a take on that. Please.
So I would say that I don't trust this saying 100% because, as he rightly mentioned, that how it is being trained, what data has been given to that ChatGPT, how many people are actually putting the data inside that. So it's based on that. But then how well you can take out that data also depends on you. Which data to be used when? That's when the AI experts comes in the picture, you know. And when it comes about law, which is very clearly defined. So when you have to mitigate the laws of any country, let's say, and you have to do business, so it's clearly defined, which can very well easily be predicted by AI. That's been taught by my college back home, where I learned AI. It's a very basic thing. If you give them the data, the correct data, the law which is clearly defined, it will predict the results for you.
It seems like data is important. I like your take on that, Simone or Simon?
Whatever you prefer, as long as you remember the face.
I remember the face in Sardinia. Oh, you should go to Sardinia. Anyway, going into the definition that we have heard, we have been discussing about vision. It's important to have this mission. But if we leave the AI and just bring it all back to ourselves, what should you do if there were a huge change now in order to policy-proof your business? What should you do to policy-proof your business? It's happening right now.
I mean, we are working in the banking sector, so we are anyhow enforced by law, yeah, to have this in mind. Yeah? So we have business continuity models and we have risk models, which we have to prove not yearly, not day by day, but at least once a year, yeah, where we then check the market, check the situation, check what is happening, yeah, and we usually try to predict if we are stable in any crisis. So what happens if you have a breakdown in your company? We are working with computers, networks, and everything. Yeah, what there's a fire? Yeah, what is happening in all these cases? And we have then to find solutions, and this is already pre-prepared. Yeah. So if this happened, we have a fallout computer center. We have this and this and this stuff available. Yeah. So this is a standard. This is also given by law, and this is somehow also advantage if we come back to politics and things like that. Yeah, because usually as a startup or as a company, you're not thinking about things like that. Yeah, because that is usually out of scope. Yeah, and as an engineer, yeah, you are extremely creative. Yeah, and you are permanently thinking about how you can implement this and that, and you can find solutions on whatever. Yeah? You do not think about, okay, my office is burned. Yeah? Who had things like that? So
that can happen. But now we are actually talking about economic uncertainties. I'm sure that a lot of you remember there was something happening in the financial sector in 2007. Something happened there that actually hit my business very hard. Because suddenly there were no corporation, organization, nobody wanted to make any kind of expense except the necessary. And events, conventions, congresses, whatever was canceled. I had 10 employees, I had to quit, I had to get rid of them all. And what happened was that I was staying there on my own. There were no business the next year after the Lehman Brothers crash. Did you experience that?
Worse than the 2020.
Yeah, another thing happened. So, but what do we do? I mean, how are you thinking in your daily life about these things?
Well, to answer your question specifically, economic uncertainties, I would divide this question into two parts. If you're a startup company, your focus has to be different. If you are a company which is at least 10 years into service, it has to be a different strategy which needs to be implemented, you know. So as I have said in the past also, that we really need to have a hybrid model in a company where we have the 50-50, you know, a diversification in your business. Let's say if you have an economic crisis in some part of the world, but it could be an opportunity for you in some other part of the world. So you really need to encash that.
Sure. Comments on that?
Okay, again, the basics. So, yes, it looks like something trivial, but if you stick to the basics, you don't need to calculate when something goes wrong. And I think the best time to act was 20 years ago. So if you get caught off guard, it means you didn't have a good strategy or it wasn't executed properly. That said, if something is happening right now, let's say a client calls me and say, things are going wrong, what can I do? I need to gather as much data as possible. I want to profile psychologically all the team, managers, employees, possibly, if possible, clients as well. See what is KPI situation. And then, as Poonam said early, diversification, if there is any. So if they don't have a so-called parachute, that will be extremely bad. But
Getting back to that, this is a discussion. I mean, if you don't agree, let me know. So we can have a discussion around this.
Especially the crisis 2009, changed even the mind within banks, because
Was it 2009? Maybe I was wrong
yes,
there. 2009.
the bank, the crisis, this bank crisis changed the mind over there because the strategy how to invest, because at that time nobody believed that the whole world would crash. So there is an interdependency between all the markets, which have not been in any mathematical models at that time.
No.
So what changed is that starting from that time on, you are not advised in one specific area. Diversification is the new word, and we as a software, we especially in the financial market, we are dealing this diversification. So we suggest models, where we then have a look: are you really distributed over the world? Have you any cluster risks in your portfolios? We are watching if there is any things that you have to change in the portfolio, not to depend or to be completely shut out of any crisis that may happen. But nevertheless, there is no guarantee
No, there are no
that
guarantees.
this distribution is enough. But it helps a lot because what we really see that you can, in case of good distribution and good portfolio management, in that case, you can really have a stable version up and running. So you don't have these exorbitant performances, but you even have no losses, and this is what is very important, especially if you run business or things like that.
Yeah. I mean, we had one quite important thing that happened in New York a couple of years ago in aviation, that you were quite hit in the aviation business. And we are not going into that
I was
accident.
about to ask you, what about agility?
Agility? What about that? Are we agile? Are we there?
Yes, we are. As a, I mean,
In the aviation?
Yes, always.
Always. And in your businesses?
It depends on the size. The bigger the corporation, the company, the organization, the slower to react to change. The smaller, it is much easier. But there is a problem. Humans tend to be different, and there are certain psychological profiles that favor change and some that oppose change. And so what happens when you have a small company that technically should be agile, but we have a leader that is averse to change?
Now, what will happen then? Anybody in the room that has a comment?
It's easy to predict.
It's easy to
What
predict.
happens? It fails.
It fails.
And goes out of business.
Yeah, and now we're discussing how and in which way we can avoid this.
By hiring the right people and place them in the right position.
And now, as I'm very involved in how we can do that and improve, I think I told you about the inner development. Though I think it's so important to create inner strength in anything, in ourselves, and in all the people that we are working together with, partners, anything.
I think this is a very important part because we have a specific way how we are going to hire people. Yeah? So it's not just we not just looking at what knowledge they have. Yeah? This is knowledge for sure is important for the future and to fulfill the task. But it's most important: does the person fit that to your team, and does the person fit to your visions? Yeah? Because and does it also feels from a moral point of view and things like that? Because otherwise you have a lot of conflicts in your company. Yeah? So in the past we did not have a look at that at all. Yeah? So we just hire because you are good, you have good knowledge and everything. Yeah? But we had internal conflicts. Yeah? The people, they could not work together. Yeah? Because they have complete different sides.
So what we're actually saying that we're all coming back to people. People. And now we're coming back to time.
Yes.
I just want to finish. I just want to ask the panel. What is the most important right now? Start with the ladies. What's the most important for you right now? In your business, personal, anything.
Vision with purpose, aligned to my personal vision. Alignment.
Think about it yourself.
Human relationships.
Mustafa?
Yeah, I had always two targets. So if I have to decide what is most important, yeah, I always choose family. Yeah. So this is the most important thing, and I cannot go in any direction if I fail with family. Yeah. The second part is, we want to be successful, and this is we can be successful in combination with humans, family, and that's most important. For
Rachel, what is the most important for you right now?
Me? That we keep to time. We're doing really good.
Listen, do you know what's most important for me right now? And I just catch that when a guy working in the financial sector, and I ask him, what's the most important right now? I'm so happy. I'm really, I would like to give a grand hand of applause because we are still in that old system, in the bank system. The only graph that we are measuring success is by one graph, and that's money. And I think that's the biggest mistake we ever have at 2024. And when you say family, I really feel so good. I hope you feel the same. If there are any questions, we take them afterwards. I think we're going to give a big hand to this fantastic panel.
Absolutely. Round of applause.
Thank you,
Great
thank you.
conversation.
Are you happy?
Absolutely, yes.
Are you happy, Plum?
Of course.
Everybody's happy.
Absolutely.
Sure. Thank you very
Amazing.
much.
Thank you guys. Stay there.